So, when did you know that the relationship with a narcissist was over? When did you know that it was kaput, that it was donezo, that you had to leave that relationship? When? When was that breaking the shelf moment? That's what we're talking about today, y'all. If you're new here, my name is Lee Hammock. I'm a diagnosed narcissist, here to give you the perspective and an inside look at the mind of a narcissist. And welcome to another episode of the Narcissist Code. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. Yes, y'all. That's what we're talking about today. The breaking the shelf moment. When did you know that the relationship with a narcissist was over? When did you realize that you could no longer go forward with this person? When did you just understand like this was it, that you can no longer do this thing anymore? So today, y'all, we're going to do things a little bit differently. Today, I put this post on actual Facebook and Instagram, and I asked survivors of narcissistic abuse, of toxic relationship dynamics, of domestic violence, when did you know that the relationship was over? And I'm going to read out their answers to help you see, like I said, to show you that there are other people going through the same thing as you, but also to help you if you're with this person right now. Decide, help you make that decision of whether or not that you actually want to leave. Should I stay or should I go? You know, shout out to Dr. Ramani and her amazing book, Should You Stay or Should You Go? Now, y'all, I got some heavy comments. Heavy. So you got to buckle yourself up right here, y'all. So I posted this, and within an hour, it had 700 comments. So there's no way I can share all of it. But 700 comments in an hour is crazy. Right? But that shows you that there's so many people that are experiencing this abuse. So many people that have left these relationships and survived and lived to tell the tale. Right? There's so many people. So if you're still in it, if you're out of it and thinking about going back, this could be a refresher right here to help you understand why you need to make the moves that you need to move. Why you need to make the moves that you need to make. You know what I mean? So I'll see it right here. The very first one I seen was when he jumped out a first floor window with our 10-month-old, and then he told me he wouldn't get mental health help until I was ready to admit that everything was my fault, that I made him do all the terrible things that he has done to us. So this man literally jumped out a window with their 10-month-old son and absconded with him because he didn't want to go get help. And he wanted her to admit everything that she had done was wrong. That's insane. But that goes to show you that they would rather jump out a window than take accountability for the things that they have actually done. That is crazy. Another one right here. This one right here was kind of wild. After 25 years, I pulled his criminal record and saw he was actually a diagnosed sociopath. When I confronted him about having lied for 25 years, he explained it away as being all in the past and so on. No accountability. For the next 2 years until I could leave, I started seeing patterns of gaslighting, lack of empathy, selfishness, manipulation. They were always there, but now I was seeing them. 25 years later, see, they were always there, but then she opened her eyes and woke up to it. This is the type of things that so many people are experiencing, so many people are going through. Y'all can find both of these posts on my Instagram and on my Facebook as well, y'all. Y'all can scroll through them. There's a lot. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of them. You want some inspiration? There's a lot of these posts. I'm just reading a few of them, y'all, because just these are people who've left and escaped. These are people who've made it out and survived and lived to tell the tale. So the next one on here, this is from a man. He says, texting them why they asked to go to my brother's funeral weeks before if they were not going to show up, only for them to tell me I have more important friends and connections in my life than you while I was at the funeral. So his partner or girlfriend or ex, whatever, told him that she was going to go to his brother's funeral, but didn't show up. And while he was at the funeral, told her she had more important people in her life than his brother. Y'all see the lack of empathy. I feel like the common theme is going to be lack of empathy. So buckle your seatbelt. This lady says, how he acted when I was sick Whenever I was sick, no matter what the illness was, there was always coldness, and he would usually guilt me into sleeping with him. Oh, Jesus. So she was sick and coughing and throwing up. He would try to clap the cheeks. That's insane. Again, lack of empathy is going to be like the recurring theme right here, y'all. That is wild. This woman right here, this is tough right here. And a lot of y'all might experience this one right here. She said, I got to the point I wanted to take myself out just to make it all stop. But I refused to do that so I wouldn't have to leave my son behind without him. So she found motivation to stay alive, to keep herself here, to not take herself out of here because of her son. Powerful, powerful. So this lady right here, this comment right here is from a creator. She's a big creator. Her name is Burned Beauty 2018. And I think she's in the middle of a case right now or whatnot. But her ex, she said, I think her ex allegedly set her on fire. I think she's still trying to prove it or whatnot, but y'all can look into her. Burn Beauty 2018. So he allegedly set her on fire and burned her up. But she's healing. Her journey is amazing. She said, when I left in the middle of the night in an ambulance with pancreatitis and he went back to bed instead of following the ambulance, I was already disabled at this point from him setting me on fire, but I didn't remember yet. That was the catalyst to my memory because I have never been angrier. So she's saying that he had already burned her at this point, and she had like amnesia, or she didn't remember what happened. But when he left, she had to go to the hospital for pancreatitis. He didn't follow the ambulance, and they woke her up, and she decided it was over at that point right there. It's crazy. Somebody said, unfortunately, too many things to list for me. Sometimes it's more than just one moment. But what was that moment right here, y'all? And y'all can leave it in the comment section as well. When did you decide that you needed to leave, right? Or what do you feel like is stopping you from leaving? That could also be an important, impactful question as well to answer. You know what I mean? She said, we walked out of her therapy appointment and his mistress texted me that he had just sent her flowers. The first time it truly hit me that he was dead inside and nothing I ever did could ever fix him. So they were at a couples counseling session, and he had sent his mistress flowers, and the mistress texted her and said, hey, your boo just sent me flowers while y'all were at therapy. She said, another person said, he finally went to jail. I packed my things and moved so far away, switched jobs, my number, best feeling ever. He got out a month later to being Dear John. So she dipped out while he was in jail. I think he went to jail for something that he had did to her. And I tell sometimes y'all, God give you a way out. Sometimes God will lock him up, right? Next person said, the day he put his hands on me, it was like the fog was removed, never fogged again. So he put his hands on her, beat her up or whatnot, and she decided that it was over at that moment. When I literally ran out of energy, I was exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally. I was done just trying. Sometimes you just get tired. Sometimes you're just tired of trying. Sometimes you're doing so much and getting so little in return. Yeah, it's understandable to get tired, y'all. Another person says, when you feel like unaliving yourself and don't know why you are still with them. So she was thinking about unaliving herself while she was still with this person. And she's like, why am I still with this person? This person makes me want to take myself out of here. Another one. Y'all see, this is that right there. The comment right beneath that last one says, when you would rather be dead than to live with them. When I text him to tell him I had sprained both of my ankles and I couldn't walk up the stairs to use the bathroom, and he left me on red for a week. And when he finally did reply, he didn't even acknowledge the injuries. So she sprained both of her ankles, couldn't walk, and he just left her by herself. And then he tried to text her, hey, big head, what's going on? Lack of empathy, right? She said, I went into remission with 2 autoimmune diseases after the divorce was finalized. So she left when the divorce was finalized. She started feeling better. Like her autoimmune diseases started disappearing, started going away. Narcissistic people can make you physically sick. Toxic relationship dynamics, stress can make you physically sick. That's wild right there, y'all. When I was working remotely from Monday to Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., tending to our 2 special needs kids, cleaning, cooking, doing laundry from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., working Thursday through Sunday, physically at the factory on my feet for over 9 hours, returning home to continue to be the maid and sole parenting cycle. And one night I asked him to wake up to supervise the kids to get ready for school so I can focus on prepping breakfast and lunch for him and the kids. He said, I don't see myself waking up even 2 seconds earlier than my alarm for any kids. That was the end. That was the day my life as a married single parent ended. Married single parents exist. Married single mom. She said married single mom, MUM, so she might be from across the pond, right? So she was a married single parent. So she was doing all that work, and this man couldn't get up to even help with the kids in the morning, even though she was making his lazy ass lunch. Oh goodness. She says, when his own mom told me that I can do better for myself than her son. And y'all, if the mama, y'all be surprised how often I hear this type of stuff. Like, his mom warned me. Man, her dad told me that I shouldn't be with her. Like, I've heard this stuff so many times. Like, when their parents are telling you this, what are you thinking? I just feel like, ask yourself, if their parents tell you that you deserve better, what are you thinking in that scenario right there, in that situation right there? It's important. I'm just asking you to get clear. When I got pregnant and he wouldn't stop yelling at me, when he twisted my words, when he cheated on me with a 65-year-old. So she got pregnant and yelled at, emotionally abused, verbally abused. And then he cheated on her with a 65-year-old woman. Hey, there's nothing wrong with them 65-year-old women, but cheating. You see, breaking the shelf moment. This woman said she knew it when I felt peace when he wasn't around. She felt peace when her partner was not around her. That's wild. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know. When they were aware that their behavior was hurtful, but didn't want to change it. They think you're okay with it. It's just like, hey, if you're not going to leave me, then you're okay with this, right? That's the mentality of narcissistic people. The day I said I was done and felt it in my entire soul. So she just said it and she was done. I guess she needed a reassurance from herself. When I had to escape and run for my life because he was in a violent rage, never saw him again. My cats and my lives were at risk and I had to run. So she got the kitties out of there too. See, sometimes some people don't make it out with their lives. You see, leaving can be the most dangerous time. So be careful if and when you decide to leave, be careful, make a plan, be safe. He used to get so mad at me for relaxing at all when I was pregnant. He called me lazy. Pregnant and lazy, yikes. When he pulled a loaded pew-pew on my dog after threatening me with it. So he went from aiming that thing at her to aiming at that Fido. Damn. I wasn't reacting to his threats. And he knows my dog is my baby. Best, most, goodest girl ever. So he put it to her head and looked at me and laughed. That's when I knew. That's insane. That's psycho. That's the psycho right there, y'all. When I saw proof and he denied it. When my life was in danger, hard part is I will always love him. Maybe that's just my problem. It's understandable to love and care about people who've hurt you, y'all. It's when you allow them back into your life when it becomes extremely problematic. It's when this woman, again, lack of empathy coming up. When my dog passed away and he didn't say a word, no empathy, acted like my dog never existed. That was when I hit a wall and I was done. Yep. When he started including my son in the silent treatment and ignoring him whenever he and I would get into it. You see how he spreads to the kids. I know some people just like, I'm staying for the kids. Your son or daughter, your children are also getting the silent treatment and abused as well. When I realized he will never and could never be who I needed for my daughter and myself. So she knew that she saw this person. I know some people would see that like, you didn't know that till after you had the daughter. Wow, you didn't know he could be the man you needed until after you had a daughter. Y'all gotta choose better. Why can't people just be better? Yeah, can both things be true? Can we also choose better, but can we also focus on the problematic people? Be better. It's crazy. This one right here is super simple. She said, when he started talking to another woman, she just knew right there. Next person. When he put his hands on me in front of our daughter. I told you stay for the kids. You see what happens sometimes, right? When I realized I would sooner end my own life than let him back in. Powerful. Powerful. This right here is kind of hard. This right here is kind of rough right here, y'all. Sitting at social services, applying for food stamps, and having to explain to them that despite my husband's 6-figure income, I had no way to feed my children because he ran off with a woman he had just met and removed me from all our joint accounts, even those my paycheck directly deposited into. I couldn't even access my own pay for months while the bank sorted it out. Unforgivable. Of course, 6 months later, he was back begging for his family back, and nobody responded. I was curious if she took him back, because some people would take him back even after all that type of stuff happens, y'all. I know what y'all gonna say, well, like, that's crazy as hell. Why'd you do that? Why would you take him back? The mind, y'all. The mind. If I'm honest, it was progressively apparent. The final straw was me realizing that this person would be the death of me, literally and figuratively. I had nothing left to give, and I was more than okay with standing my ground and honoring my boundaries. I was tired of betraying myself for someone who couldn't spit on me if I was on fire, wouldn't spit on me. Well, if it made him look good, but not to save my life. Yikes. I realized my relationship was truly over when my ex accidentally sent me a cruel message about me that was meant for someone else. Then he tells me not to let it bother me. So he was talking trash about his kid's girl to someone else, and he accidentally sent it to her. You overreacting. When he told me good luck, take care, after I told him I was diagnosed with cancer. Again, you see the consistent lack of empathy. If they don't offer you empathy in the beginning, they're not going to offer it to you later on, y'all. When he stomped on my foot and shut a door in my face, it took me months to get away and still fighting to stay out. By out, I mean for him to stay away. So if they get physically violent with you, y'all, and you go back to them, and you let them back into your life, they think that physical violence is now a part of your relationship. This is not me trying to say you deserve to be abused. I'm saying that they think it's it's realistically part of like the relationship. When he called me from jail after he was arrested for domestic violence against me, I thought he was calling to apologize, but he called to tell me not to talk to the district attorney. Me first. You deserve what happened to you. Don't get me in trouble. I don't deserve to get in trouble and whatnot. I don't deserve to get in trouble. Here's a wild one. When I found him in bed with 2 prostitutes, of course, he managed to convince me to take him back and that he was sorry and it would never happen again and he loved his family. But then 9 months later, our 10-year anniversary rolled around and he didn't even acknowledge it. No card, no gift, not even a happy anniversary. That's when I knew it was over. So you see, a lot of people would say the 2 prostitutes wasn't enough. No, sometimes it's not, y'all. It's the mind. The trauma bond is hard to break. The mind can get deep. It can run deep. So you think sometimes it's just not enough, y'all. I'm serious. But then you see something little, something that takes less effort. Send me a happy anniversary text. He didn't do it. Sometimes it can be the little things that finally break the shelf. Like the shelf has so many things on it, but there's a weight limit, right? There's a weight limit on this shelf. And sometimes all it takes is you to put a straw on top of it and it breaks. So there's no happy anniversary after 10 years. That can be break the straw right there, y'all. So I got a couple more, y'all. Then I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I know this is the video longer than than usual, but I feel like I had to do a video like this because I seen all the comments. I was like, man, let me just share y'all's stuff. When he called the cops on me and had me arrested for felony domestic violence after I found out he was cheating on me, spent the night in jail, got a lawyer, and the case was dropped. Sometimes they will try to teach you a lesson for catching them cheating. And if you take them back, it just keeps going. Last one, y'all, and we're going to wrap this thing up. I was pregnant with our son. He chose to bring up every possible topic that we don't agree on in front of his current kids, belittling me and making it known to his children that my opinions didn't hold any weight. I couldn't let me and my unborn child grow up thinking his mom's thoughts and opinions weren't valued. After I physically walked away from the conversation, things escalated for his children that night and me in the months following. Even though we were no contact, and it reassured me I was making the right, safe decision. You see what I'm saying? Like sometimes, y'all, it can be just the way they talk to you or about you in front of people, y'all. So, if you made it this far, what was your breaking the shelf moment? When did you know that your relationship was over? Or have you had something, are you still in it? And one of these things right here resonated with you. Did any of this stuff resonate with you? Regardless, y'all, leave a comment, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Before you go, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, y'all. You already here, just hit the button. Also, you can find my coaching, my courses, my one-on-ones. Everything is available at my website, mentalhealness.net. Kids book, self-love journal. Also, check out joining the channel memberships as well, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super grateful. I'm out. Peace.